What's up, bros? What's up? How you guys tonight? Good, I hope. You know, we're about 40 months away from an election, and yeah. The picks we had, bruh. You got Tampon Tam and the hoe. And you got Trump and J.D. Vance. You got...
Up the phone instantly. Hey, but no shame in you, gang.
And then you got, like I said, then you got, what's his name there? You know, surprisingly, I hadn't heard anything about old Tampon Timmer until just as they announced him. Man, I mean, it is something that she would pick a running mate like him, dudes. That guy is radical, bro. Put tampons in the bathroom, in the men's bathroom for little boys. Radical, bro, radical. Well, there's some radicals on the left. It's really sad, my dudes, that we have this going on the way we have. I mean, look, dudes, I'm not hating on no one. Truly. I'm not, bros. Wait a minute. I got a video I like for you to listen to here. She's Australian. It's and that goes to show you, dudes, that what a laughing fucking stock we are to the world. That other countries we're big news in other countries about our idiots that we're letting coerce us into the White House. What is going on, dudes? Why are people so blind that claim to be educated? These people, dude, they claim to be educated, and they're picking idiots. Like, and calling people names and weirdos and bullshit that... I'll let it speak for itself. Take a listen to this, my dudes.
Lefties losing it. Welcome to a program devoted entirely to lefties losing
Just
it.
take a listen, bros.
Let's start with bad news that the former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, appears to be overindulging again. How else does one explain this performance where she told CBS that Joe Biden is so good he deserves a place at Mount Rushmore, along the likes of Lincoln, Washington and Jefferson.
Such a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president of the United States. Want to know what comes next?
That he belongs up there on Mount Rushmore, Lincoln and Joe Biden.
But you got Teddy Roosevelt up there, and he's wonderful. I don't say take him down, but you can add Biden.
Mount Rushmore. She said there Biden was at the top of his game and among the most consequential presidents. Then why did she play a key part in the plot to remove him as the Democrats' nominee, even after he secured more than 14 million primary votes? Talk about threats to democracy. We will get back to the Democrats shortly, but first let's check in with one of our favourite trans activists explaining the signs of dudes giving birth. Apparently, it's not a matter of if, but when.
Trans women getting pregnant is not as far off as you think.
Now listen to this shit, bro. They're not lying on them. They're not lying on them, dudes.
Only been attempted on cis women, but There's nothing that says it couldn't work on a trans woman. After all, my hormone levels are pretty similar to a cisgender woman, so why not? The main thing in the way is that the science is new. There aren't enough surgeons out there to do the testing, so it's less about if we can do it and more about when we can do it. Imagine a trans woman using her own DNA along with her partner's egg to create life. Wouldn't that be incredible?
Incredible. I have some other words I would have used, and we're also told by other trans activists that men identifying as women can have periods.
Once a month, trans women will experience what is known as a period. Some stupid viewers might notice that most trans women don't have a uterus, let alone an ovaries or anything along the lines of that. But that doesn't change the fact that they are experiencing a period.
Look, I'm not sure anyone wants to pretend to have a menstrual.
No, bro, I ain't going there, bro.
If you don't have ovaries, you ain't getting periods. Now, back to the Democrats and their propaganda.
I'm not, bro. I'm not going there. I better not.
Here's former Democrat operative and now an ABC host, George Stephanopoulos.
Oh, fuck Stephanopoulos. That's Slophanopoulos is who that is, bro.
People are trying to figure this out. But again, that's a side issue, not the main issue. The main issue...
Sir, 1 second. You just did it again.
Of the United States.
Why do you insist on questioning her racial identity? I want you to answer my question.
George, now that you're done yelling at me, let me answer.
That's a good guy. Oh my God, I can't get his name off the top of my head. He's a good guy, bro. He's a black guy. Not that his color matters. He's a good guy. Very good guy, bro. Hey, if he was running for anything in my state, I'd vote for him in a heartbeat, bro. That's a fact. I mean, honestly, if he was running in my state, I'd vote for him in a heartbeat. He's that good a guy, bro. Color don't matter to me, bro. It's if you can do the job, dudes. Color should never have anything to do with anything, bros. And I truly, honestly mean that.
When I played that audio on my Sirius XM
program on Thursday, honestly,
callers who self-identified as African American were quick to tell me that those men were the exception, not the rule. Some described them as low-information voters, no different than you'd find among whites.
Amazing stuff there from
Low-information voters. I'm not highly educated, bros, but I have spent my life reading books and self-educating myself. That and that's the truth. That's the truth. That
men, by definition, when they have a job, earned it and deserve it. And any man
that has a job and they studied or worked hard to get that job, they deserve it, bro. It doesn't have to be white, doesn't have to be black, doesn't have to be Asian. The color should not have anything to do with what you've learned. Now, if you're a DEI, now, but of course, bro, you're not educated, you're not the man for the job, bro. I mean, I'm for sure that there's plenty of black people that are doctors, lawyers, politicians. It's sad that this crap is taking place, bro. No, it is. Very, very, very sad, dudes.
Know that it actually means methane gas. Yeah, the one making the world warmer. Yes, that is really happening. Can you catch a bubble, please?
I mean,
stickers to warn people about chemicals for a long, long time.
California is a mess, is what California is. I feel for the citizens of California, man, but you really can't feel much for them, bro, because they voted them in. Yeah, I mean, really. They voted him in, bro, so how you feel sorry for him, you know what I'm saying? Hard to feel sorry for somebody when it's self-inflicted, my dudes.
So people can learn about that. Nobody is coming to take your stove. Do you want to do this paper with me? Okay, let's do it. Learning new things is great.
They are going to try to ban propane, stuff like that, bro. They are, my dudes. They plan on it.
Reveal party. Everybody's clapping. It's a boy, and I just happen to say, well, let's give it 10 years and see if it sticks. Grandma clutches her pearl. I'm leaving. The receipt's in the bag. I got them a pride onesie from Target.
And while we're on gender reveal parties, it's never too late to throw one. Here is a mum and dad throwing one for their son, who now identifies as their daughter. And have a look at just how happy the dad seems to be about all this. Alex Stein has been sparring with the young folk, some of them painfully woke and naive. Let's have a look.
People who aren't citizens can't vote.
Yes, they can.
No, they can't.
Arizona
made it illegal in 1995. Okay, no, you're right.
You don't think an illegal? Let me just say this. You don't think an illegal immigrant has ever voted in the federal election?
No, because it's not.
Oh my God!
No, actually, I disagree with that.
You don't think no. This guy, the delegate guy, you're so smart. You don't think an illegal immigrant has ever voted in the presidential federal election?
Probably not. Oh my God.
Bullshit.
Let's have a look at the
Ship is on fire. Torpedo tubes destroyed.
Fuck.
You know, we have to stay woke. Everybody needs to be woke.
Shit.
And you can talk about it.
We're going down. We're going down, Hamburger Hill. We're going. Save me, baby Jesus. Save me.
That is pretty woke. In an interview with a Glamour magazine, she explained what caused her to be so woke.
There are some real silver linings about what this moment in time has done to maybe cause a lot of us to be woke. And I love it. I love it. But folks are woke, and I love it.
The ship is on fire. Attention.
She loves it. You know what I love is what a chameleon Kamala is. I mean, she was raised in California and Canada, but she can go all southern and urban in front of a mainly black crowd.
Activated.
I said to the congressman, I didn't know he could preach like that.
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets, and let me tell you, as they say, they not like us.
Well, I see people testifying. Can I get a witness?
Oh, that was good. So good that it inspired this spoof. Yes, Kamala is
So I know how to make a mean pot of greens. In fact, people used to ask me to make greens for them for Christmas. One year, I had so many that I had to wash them.
Fred.
Wash them in the bathtub. So I am not playing around.
Back before the war broke out, I was a saucier in San Antone. I bet I could call up some of them greens. Yeah, noodle some crawfish out the patio. I made her some crab apples for dessert now, yeah? Hey, yeah! Ha!
Oh, look, Kamala is very good, but she has some ways to go to reach Hillary levels of inauthentic.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
When it comes to Kamala, we have...
Oh shit. Fuck it, go ahead, man. That bitch is crazy, bro.
Explain community banks,
Oh shit.
diplomacy, space travel, and here she explains...
Making fun of the black people. No shame at them, bro. No shame at them.
Locked in the basement of the house. It's on your laptop, and it's then therefore up here in
I tell you one to watch on Hillary Clinton.
just above us, right?
And there's a video of it too.
Physical place.
Now, we know the...
I might be wrong about the year she did it in. It was in the late 80s, toward the 90s. But there was a video of it. there's this pedophile raped this, I believe she's 15, 16-year-old, 14 to 16. I'm about positive of that. Raped her, and Hillary represented him in court. She made the little girl have to be a whore, and that she basically deserved what she got, and got the guy off. It's no shit. There are video of it, unless they've removed it. They are.
Understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up. That's about
Now listen to Kamala about talking about how they've destroyed the U.S. economy.
but is on a daily level.
You don't gotta have a PhD in economics, bro, to understand that they have ruined the U.S. economy. They have shut down jobs. They said, well, we created jobs. You shut down more than you created, bro. And the jobs that come back were the jobs that was post-COVID that were already there, that they were going to come back as soon as the government that Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and had. Well, that's Democrat there, the Ku Klux Klan. That's a fact. I hate to break it to people, but Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. So, and at the end of the Civil War, this is a subject I do know and was taught in school. Was the Civil War, Vietnam, World War I, World War II. And so they used to teach us stuff to us, brothers. It was called world history. We were taught it. And then the subject of the Civil War, when Lincoln set out to do what he did,
I do not see a parallel between what is constitutionally mandated as it relates to enforcing the law.
It was a time we didn't have today's technology, dudes. So they went state to state collecting ballots. They all had to be trained back to Washington, then hand counted, okay, and it took months. That's why you have from November till January that for the change of power. Well, the way I looked, and I'm not really sure on that deal exactly, that I'm wanting to say Andrew Jackson, but I'm not really sure.
Particularly among immigrants, and specifically among immigrants coming from Mexico and Central America.
We're about to delve into the twisted world First, remember when Ricky Gervais told the Hollywood elite to not preach about politics? No one cares about their walk views. But sadly, they didn't listen. Here is Hollywood A-lister, fanboy, and lefty losing it, Ben Stiller.
And she's also a historic candidate. You know, it's going to be the first woman president, and that's incredibly.
That was John C. Breckinridge running against him.
Be more than one thing. It's incredible. You know, I'm Jewish and Irish.
That's who I thought. I don't know why I was thinking of Andrew Jackson, but anyway, it was close, bros. It was close. Lincoln had the lead in it, so he went ahead and declared himself president. Let me pause this here, bros, because, but anyway, on that subject, that is a subject that I've delved into over the years. It's you know, it's been a part of our country, so to not want to learn about it would be asinine, because it was the first time we picked arms up against each other with the intents to kill one another. And but Lincoln seized the election. And he did it early and they felt Lincoln cheated. It was never really clear until after the Civil War and that he had really won. They said he didn't, that he just seized the presidency, but he did win. They didn't want Lincoln to be president because Lincoln run on the Emancipation Act, that he was going to free the slaves, and it wasn't just Virginia and these states. He was going to let it be legal in the states that wanted it, and the states that didn't, he was going to give them more rights about it. Because at that point in time in history, if a slave run off, they would hunt him down and bring him back, and he was going to make that illegal. Like if they made it to New York or West, so it wasn't a state at the time, and that is another reason that I was really into the Civil War, because we became a state at that point in time in history. And you have to keep that in mind. See, that played out for us as well in history. That we were a part of Virginia at the beginning of the Civil War. So they treated us like shit, dudes. We didn't own slaves, bro. We lived up at what they would have called the panhandle of the aborigine of Virginia at the time. It was Virginia. And we had coal mines. We had the good economics, but they were taking all of our money, and there was no investment into our end of the state. So, and we got tired of the shit. So when the Civil War broke out, we drawed the line, and we went to war with Virginia and declared ourselves a state, West Virginia. And that's why a lot of people in Virginia don't like us, because of what we did and how we did it. And because at the end of the day, we were white slaves. And that is a fact. And history shows that, how we were treated, how they would rob us, and that we were just scum to them. And this is true, bros. This is true. All this proceeded into being that people say, well, we broke for slavery. No, we didn't. We broke for independence, because we were no better off than the slaves, bro. And that is why West Virginia took a stand and took our state. And we did side with the Union. So we had nothing to do with slavery. Matter of fact, we fought against it. One moment, bros. It's getting hot in here where I had my computer running. I thought I could open the window and it was cool enough outside that it would be okay, but it's like, let me see how hot it is. It's hot. It's 74 out, so I'm going to have to turn my AC on. Give me a moment and I'll be right back. Anyway, and that's the truth, dudes. It wasn't because of slavery why we broke from them. We broke from them because of our economics, and that we wasn't getting a fair shake. And we killed them, dudes. Yes, we did. We went to war with them. It was a bloody battle. We fought for our state. We fought for our rights to live, work, and survive. So when you look into the history of my state, you'll understand why I'm so proud of it. Because we did what we had to do. Not just then. We had other turmoils afterwards. But that is how West Virginia became a state, because we were a complete part of Virginia in 1865 or I think 1862 is when we declared ourselves a state. It's 1862 or 1865 we declared ourselves a state and was recognized as such. And we did side and we're a republic. We're not a commonwealth. Virginia is a commonwealth. We're a republic. Meaning we believe in the same as the U.S. government. Because the U.S. government is a republic. It's not a commonwealth. Any southern state was a commonwealth. Kentucky is a commonwealth. Virginia is a commonwealth. California is a commonwealth. Any commonwealth, and we're unique like Texas. We didn't pick. We came in at a time that really we're not sided with either. Government-wise. We were, it's a hard one to explain on that deal. But at the end of the day, we got what we wanted. And this is true. At the end of the day, we got what we wanted. We were, excuse me, we were not going to back down. We did, now, when they say during the Civil War, brother killed brother, and they chose sides, and that's true. That's very true. It was a dark, dark time for the U.S. that it was more money about money. Abraham Lincoln made it money to stop them from slavery. It was like this. He was going to let them practice it, but the price of doing it, it was no longer going to be beneficial. So, and all the battles, Gettysburg, everything, there were quite a few took place here in West Virginia, the Civil War battles. But at the end of the day, he created the Emancipation Act. And within it, the way it was wrote, none of them was going to be alive when it took place. So he didn't get to completely abolish slavery at the time. We went into what they would call basically the Jim Crow era for the next 100 years. Because you had segregation and all that. And then in 1962, 60, in that era is when the Emancipation Act took effect. Then you have the Rosa Parks, the Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, that finished off what it should have been from the start. I never believed in slavery, ever. Never, ever. But that's dulling it down, making key points of it. You could go through it all, dudes, and you'd have to go battle by battle and blow by blow. But at the end of the day of it, Abraham Lincoln got assassinated by John Wilkes Booth. There's real doubts that they ever really killed Booth. That the man that they found in the barn and ended up killing didn't have a broke leg like Booth did, because when he jumped from the balcony when he shot Lincoln in the back of the head like a coward. And then let's go onward here on this deal. Let's go to the end of that 100 years, and then we see another assassination. That's true. You had Kennedy. John F. Kennedy was a good president. I won't say great, because he had his flaws as well. Kennedy basically refused to have anything to do with Vietnam. He did not want no part of Vietnam. So, and Kennedy was out to finish the Emancipation Act. He was going to bring some peace to the black people. And this is true, dudes. But now Kennedy seen Russia as the greater threat. He didn't, and he wasn't about to back down from them. They were scared Kennedy was going to take us into World War III, nuclear war. But I myself think I've never bought the lone gunman theory. I've never bought it. I never will. When you watch the Patriot films, you see the back of Kennedy's head gets blowed out. The trajectory of a bullet. If you're a deer hunter or anything and you've dealt with firearms, you realize the explosion is on the exit of the bullet. Therefore, he'd have been shot in the head and the front for the exit to take the back of his skull out the way it did. It's true. Then you have the magic bullet that hit him and Governor Connally, and then it was all of a sudden found on Connolly's gurney. So there's reason there's conspiracy theories when it comes to Kennedy. you had Oswald supposedly in the book suppository with a 6.5 Italian rifle that had no bore. That meant the bullet tumbled. Hard to hit with after so many yards. Which Oswald was a Marine, and I would say he was trained. Don't know if he's a sharpshooter. Do believe Oswald when he said he was a spy. Reason being of that, Oswald went and lived in Russia at a time that it just didn't happen. We got to remember the Cold War was going on, and he went there, he lived, he even got his wife from there, and then he entered back into the United States with no problem. None whatsoever. Oswald had a problem coming back to the United States. So, like I said, I believe Oswald when he said he was a spy. I do. I believe that wholeheartedly, that Oswald was a spy, and that he was exactly what he said he was. That I do believe. Do I think that he had a plot in Kennedy dying? Yes, I do. But I believe at the end of the day, when he stood in front of the media and said he was a patsy, I believe that.
This is Base Commander. Support ship approaching the second battery line.
Because you also got to remember, they caught him in a movie theater when they did get him, and he had killed a police officer. Do I think he killed Kennedy? No, sir, I do not. I think the grassy knoll theory is about the best theory that they have when it comes to the death of John F. Kennedy. Because, in all honesty, that is about the theory of the trajectory of the bullet. And I've seen all these documentaries, and they keep trying to disclaim it. But at the end of the day, my bros, they throw more doubt than they do of explanation. There's a film Oliver Stone had made, and I would suggest anyone to watch that film. I think, in all honesty, that it was one of the best accounts that we could have had for what took place, because there was a lot of key players and a lot of stuff that went on that should have been brought to light, my dudes. I mean, in all honesty of it. But I mean, because you had Jack Ruby, had known ties to the mafia. You had known ties, and Kennedy had pissed the mafia off because they had promised them during the Cuban Missile Crisis. They had promised them that they would let him take control of the docks, willingly let him, and he went back on his word about it. So, I mean, these are facts, bro. And I was talking last night, or the other night, I've not felt good, bros, to be honest. I've had quite a bout this time with my chemo. But at the end of the day, like I said, Kennedy was a high threat to him, his own party. He wasn't doing what they wanted. He truly did not want anything to do with Vietnam. And upon his death, Lyndon Baines Johnson took us into a war in Vietnam. That's facts. I mean, that's facts. You had, I mean, really, there's true facts that Johnson did it, and they created shit to do it, bro. It wasn't that that the Vietnamese had attacked us. They even faked that shit, bro. I mean, no kidding. They honestly even faked that we had been attacked, and they had attacked their own damn self by mistake. Thought they had provoked an attack, and they still hadn't. And like I said, This is all part of history that we know now that did take place, bros. Straight up. I mean, we know this straight up that it did take place, and that they did it. The government did it. Now, in my honest opinion, when it comes to President Kennedy, I believe his own party assassinated him. I truly do. They were scared of him. We'd had the Cuban Missile Crisis. He had to threaten the Soviets with nuclear war, and he was serious. And he wasn't going to back down. Kennedy wasn't. So, and he was laying around with Marilyn Monroe and other women, and they considered him an embarrassment. There's no one that's read into it and about the life and the history of John F. Kennedy can say that he wasn't a whoremonger, because he was. And most people didn't have a problem with it. I mean, you had Miss Candy. I would say Miss Candy had a problem with it. But as far as the Democratic Party, I mean, he had them well under control, that they were not saying anything about what he was doing, you know. And for the fact of it, he was definitely, you know, he was definitely laying around with Marilyn Monroe. Not just Marilyn, no, she wasn't just laying around with President Kennedy, she was laying around with his brother Bobby as well. I mean, these are been proven facts. So, there's the conspiracy theory that they had her killed because of that fact, and the facts that they had probably slipped and let a little pillow talk happen. But, I mean, no honesty about that. That's honesty, bros. So, it's really hard to say. Like I said, more than likely, the mafia and the Democratic Party killed President Kennedy. And the way Johnson knowed how Kennedy felt when it come to the space race with Russia. And he kept it going in honor of Kennedy. Why did Johnson take it upon himself to go to Texas, basically kidnap Mrs. Kennedy and President Kennedy's body and bring him back to Washington, D.C., and had himself swore in as president on the plane as her president was laying there dead? Because he did. He did. I mean, he absolutely did. The day that he, within hours of Kennedy being assassinated, Johnson had went to Texas, retrieved Miss Kennedy, and made her witness him being sworn in as president. Why was that such a big deal at the moment that we had lost the president? And this shit we know for facts, bros. I mean, really, this we know for facts that happened. So, would it be safe to say Johnson knew they were going to assassinate him? I think it'd be very safe to say that Johnson knew that they were going to assassinate Kennedy. I think it'd be very safe to say that Lyndon B. Johnson knew that they were going to assassinate President Kennedy. So,
Reconnaissance reporting. Principal attack is
I mean, really, man. Wholeheartedly. I believe that wholeheartedly that Johnson absolutely knew it. He was prepared to become president. Facts, bros. Facts. Johnson was prepared to become president of the United States, and the only way he would have known is if he would have known beforehand that President Kennedy was going to be assassinated. So, how was he privy to that information, dudes? How was Johnson privy that they were going to assassinate President Kennedy? Because according to the powers that be at the time, he probably shouldn't even. Oh shit! We're gonna take a torpedo. Damn boy. He should have never known it. He wouldn't have known it. Now, technology is not what today what it was then. It's so how was he informed and flew all the way to Texas to retrieve Miss Candy and to do what he did? I mean, really, bros. That was never brought up either during the shit. I forget the name of the guy that they named the that they named Warren's Commission, the Warren Commission. There we go. It was never really brought up during that. A lot was brought up though about it, especially how that he had that it was really thought that with the Warren Commission that Oswald hadn't acted alone, and that there were a lot of key players that wasn't even mentioned, like Ruby and some other guys that had been privy. Jack Ruby waltzed right into a Texas police station in the garage carrying a .38 and shot Oswald at point blank, bros. He was let get that close to a prisoner, and I believe it was to silence him. In all honesty, it had to be to silence him, because so why'd they want Oswald dead? They had him, could have tried him, could have known exactly the truth and what had took place, and if it was a lone gunman, he'd have been privy. Oswald said from the start he was a patsy, and it was a setup, and that. So, where's Oswald then? Oswald told him that he was a spy. From the way it looks, and how he went to Russia, stayed, come right back to the U.S. I think it was more than possible that Oswald was a spy. I mean, in all honesty, I think it's, it was more likely he was a spy than he was anything. And that's a fact. I think that the Democrats felt Kennedy was more an embarrassment, and they didn't want to do segregation and go through what Kennedy was starting when it come to that. Then you had Kennedy with the Cuban Missile Crisis, and the Bay of Pigs that was a pure was a flop, was an embarrassment on his administration. So why would it not be more than safe to say inside parties wanted rid of him? I mean, it'd be more safe to say it than it would to come out and say that Oswald acted alone and that he had the crap they tried to peddle to the American people. Because what there was a peddling stunk, and if it stinks like shit, it's shit. You know, straight up fact. If it smells like bad, bro, and it don't make sense, it kind of seems to be bullshit. And that was the case when it came to Kennedy. He truly was an embarrassment to them. They had found out he was laying around with Marilyn Monroe. He was laying around with some of his staff members. Kennedy truly was a whoremonger. Truly was a whoremonger. That's a fact. And that's openly accepted by the Democrat Party. Bill Clinton. Now, I tell you, bros, when you think about this, they go on Trump, calling him a womanizer and all this crap. You got John F. Kennedy, absolutely, was a whoremonger, proven through history that he had laid around with Marilyn Monroe, he had laid around with staff members that had come out after his death. And we do know these are facts, and he did it. You got Bill Clinton was impeached for lying about having sex with a staff member, Monica Lewinsky, plus a few women that he had forced himself upon. Impeached for it while in office. You have E. Jean Carroll accused Trump of basically of rape, but they wouldn't go that far as forceful sex, she says. And then you have Stormy Daniels. But I truly don't believe either took place, because I've not seen the proof. It's accusations. I've seen no proof that he had did. Maybe Daniels, maybe with her, but E. Jean Carroll, no, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. He had evidence he could have entered to exonerate him from it, and the judge wouldn't let him. Both cases. Okay, they're so now they've did this to Trump. When you have two Democrat presidents that did it while they were in office. What Trump did was years before he took office. If he did it. It's really doubtful he did. But he's such a bad man. They have two presidents that did it on higher levels and never was accounted for. Bill Clinton was impeached for lying to Congress and the Senate that he had not had sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky. That's what he was impeached for. And it was proven he had. So, what's everybody's big problem with Trump? What's the problem, bros? He wasn't president. It was years before. question, why do Democrats have that big a problem with him when they had two sitting presidents? It wasn't only one died before he could have been convicted of it, but it was a coming on him. It was a coming on him. Kennedy, it was coming in the open what he was doing. And then you had Bill Clinton that absolutely got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. But Donald Trump's so bad and all this, and as it is, everything they've tried to convict him and do to him hasn't ever been proven. Ever. None of it was done in ways that it was easy to convict him. You tell me what Judge Mershon and those 12 jurors convicted him of. Give me the charges. Give me them 37 accounts of what he was convicted of. They went to trial with no idea how to defend him of the accusations because they couldn't tell him what they were. This is facts, bros. Facts. That they try to spin and say, no, they're okay, there's charges, so what are they? What are the charges? What? Tell me without trying to spin some bunch of bullshit the charges. Because they can't. And it's why it'll be overturned in an appellate court. It will be overturned. That's a fact. Everything that they did to him will be overturned. They know this, too. They know this. And Trump can sue the hell out of them for all this, and he will. He will, and you can't blame him. Which will be battled out for a few more years in court. And they know that, and that's what they're doing, stone for time. They thought they could either... And the reason they won't jail him is because they're scared they'll have a civil war over it. And they're probably right. I mean, I think if they try to jail Donald Trump, especially after trying to assassinate him... Now, I'm not going to sit here and spin no conspiracy theory that the Democrats tried to take him out, even though that's probably more than likely going to end up being the truth. I would hope that they wouldn't have went that far, but to say that they didn't would be probably could end up being a lie too as well. That they probably did. But I don't want to buy into that. I hate to try to buy into that because even as rotten and filthy as the Democrats are, I would hope they would not stoop to that level, that they would try to assassinate a ex-president, a presidential candidate. I would hope they wouldn't, because if they did, the hell and the consequences that would become of it would be very bad. Because I mean, to know that they tried to assassinate him and that was a political party tried to do it would cause a civil war, dudes. If you think that American people don't love Donald Trump that good, you're crazier than hell. I would tell you to come out of that wonderland you're living in. That if you think there's not patriots in this country that would go to war, a civil war for Donald Trump, you are stupid to think that otherwise. That is a fact. You're stupid to think that there's not patriots in this country that would not lay their life on the line and go to war for Donald Trump. They are. You can bet your ass on that. People are fed up with Democrats and their bullshit. We have seen rise in electricity, food, all the things that lead to a depression we have seen for the past 4 years, and for them to say that we're not in a depression, they're a fucking liar. They are fucking liars. Take it for somebody that's lived 54 years on this earth and went through it with a few presidents. We are in a depression, and it's not going to get better until he is gone. That is a fact. And if they would vote Kamala Harris in, that's going to be the end of our country. We will be a Marxism, socialism, on our way to communism. That is exactly what will happen. That's a fact, dudes. The ones preaching the bullshit are the ones with the intentions of what they're accusing him of. That's their intentions. Joe Biden run on, I will not do anything to fracking. I will not. What's the first fucking thing he did? He stopped fracking. He shut the oil down. He made us dependent on other countries for oil when he never, we could get it on. And we can, Trump had us at $1.75 a gallon, bro. Look what gas prices is. Double, and has been tripled. Foods went up. Electricity's went up. Everything rises, and we're not. Our wages have not. And then you want to be such a sheep and blind to what they've did, but what it is, or you want to blame it on the Republicans that hold no power, that could not stop it, because if they could have stopped it, they would have. That he's went with executive orders and did the shit he's did. He cut welfare and run the country down the fucking ground with illegal immigrants that's taking jobs that people need. What jobs we did have, the immigrants is getting them. Why they getting them? Because the companies will get a tax write-off from the federal government for working them. So he just drove he just cut the wages of the United States citizens. He didn't fucking raise them. He cut them because they're working for lesser money because the government's subsidizing the rest of the money to them. But you fuckers open your eyes, man, or are you that damn stupid that you can let a hillbilly out of West Virginia knows exactly what's going on, and you fucking idiots can't realize it. And I'll call you what you are, educated idiots. Because if you would have been educated in the right way, you would have known damn good and well he hurt the economy the moment he opened the fucking borders up and overrun the workforce. Because he drove wages down, not up. He's going to give us all $15 an hour. That $15 an hour don't make bullshit when you got a little fucking illegal immigrant with a work card that they're giving to them and send them right in on your workforce. You fucking idiot. That the government is subsidizing the company for hiring them. They're paying them to hire them. They're not going to hire you, because, and that's exactly why they're not going to hire you. So all these jobs at Pepsi plants, Coke plants, all across the board, dude, across the fucking board, bro. All these jobs, they're going to immigrants, illegal immigrants. Because Joe Biden decided to overrun the fucking country to get voted in, that now everybody's on to his ass and knows he's incompetent and senile. So they throw the hoe up, thinking they can get her voted in. What's she done, bro? What has Kamala Harris done in the past 4 years besides stay here in her office? She's been over the border. She's a border czar. Extra has she been her? She has not. Still hasn't. Still hasn't. According to her, she ain't been to Europe either, so. And you're condoning this, my dudes. you're going to condone that we have a president and a vice president. Neither one has went to the border. I think Biden went to one part of it, but he didn't go all the way through. Harris will not go. Won't hear tell of it. She has done nothing as vice president in the past 4 years. But she's the best thing since fucking Sweet Tea. You're fucking kidding me, man. Just because she's a woman, bro, and you want to see a woman become president, I would love to see one come too. As long as she could do the damn job. That's a fact. Race, color, gender does not matter to me. If they could do the job, that matters. That matters. Our country needs needs a strong president that can create jobs and deal on a world scale. We got a buffoon and a whore trying to run the country, and you people seem to be totally fine with that. Well, I'm not, man. I'm not. See, I got cancer. I'm dying. That's a fact. I got cancer. I'm dying. And I'm going to leave this world not knowing if my daughter's going to be able to have a life in it. That's a fact. And for you people that's got kids, don't let a party stand in your way. Do what's best for your kids. Do you want to see all this shit? Your kids is paying for it, bro. And their kids will pay for it as well. You want to see your kids in poverty while they overrun the country, bringing illegals in, treating them better than they do us? Is that what you want, man? Is that what you really fucking want? You want to see your kids on the street starving while they're giving all the housing and the food to the fucking illegal immigrants? Don't say they're not, dude, because look at Chicago, look at New York, look at California. They've done come out saying they're overrun and they can't do it no more. Their citizens are pissed off at them. And really, bro, really, this is happening, dudes. And nobody's saying nothing. People are, but these left-wing radicals think that this is all good, dude. There's nothing good about what's taking place, bros. Our country's been invaded. And we're letting it happen. We're not saying shit. Why are we sitting back letting this happen, bro? Man, I know. I feel the same way. I don't want to say stuff and be labeled as a racist and all this bullshit, because I'm not. But I don't want to sit back and watch my country be destroyed either. By people that want to fucking destroy it. They want to see us burn. They want to see us die. They don't like our values or our way of life. We're the only country that you can enter broke with not a fucking pot to piss in and be a millionaire in it. You can't do that in any other country, dudes. You can't speak your mind in them either. And it's getting that way in the U.S. that these Democrats like to shut us up. They call us weird, all kinds of shit. I don't particularly support Donald Trump, but I support the values of better jobs, better wages, keeping people out of our country that is raping, killing, and bringing drugs in here. I do support that. I support that we have a strong military, that our police and do it right. Now, I'll agree about somewhat when it comes to there's some bad apples in the police. I will agree to that. 100%. and there's changes needs to be made there. Because let's be honest, we all got our doubts when it comes to the police. That, is this going to be the encounter they try to shoot me? Not just black people get shot by them dudes. Whites do too. We all do. We all do. I mean, this is a problem we all have. That they can just freely shoot us and get by with it. That is the one thing I will agree on 100%, that they do need to be some kind of reform to the police. They do not need abolished. They do not need to be torn down and rebuilt. They need better training and consequences for their actions. That they do need. And I'll agree 100% to that. I'm not no far right Republican that thinks that they're doing such a great fucking job and all this. Oh no, there's some problems within our police and our judicial systems that really need eradicated. We have police that are radicals that think anything they can treat you like trash and shoot you or do anything they want, and oops, my bad, and then no consequences. I think that any police that draws that weapon and shoots somebody, especially if it's not warranted, should go to prison for murder the same as anyone else would that murdered somebody, you know. Because first thing to do is draw a weapon. Oh, he's got a gun. Shoots the fuck out of him. And then there's somebody laying dead that didn't have a gun or didn't even have a probable cause to even pull a fucking gun. Now, bullshit. That's bullshit, dudes. Now, I'll call bullshit when I see it. And the way our police do is bullshit. And it's not all of them, dude, and let's not kid ourselves and say it is. It's some certain ones that do that shit, that get trigger happy and think they're everything. It's called freedom of speech, man. And if you're telling an authority what you think of them and how they're doing their job, you should be able to sit there and not have a chip on your shoulder and take the criticism for the way you're representing. You're a public servant. You're to protect and serve, not to terrorize and kill. You don't terrorize and kill people the way we've been seeing for the past decade or so. As the people, oh, you're crazy and us, don't exist. There's plenty of YouTube videos, bro, that protect exactly what I'm talking about. That you can see that innocent people has went in to dealt with the police and then them just wildly shoot them like a fucking idiot. Like, jail, dude. Jail. They're no better than anyone else. They say no one's above the law, and that should mean even the law. So if you shoot somebody and you've did it in a reckless way, you should be held accountable. I didn't agree when it came to shopping. I did not. He deserves some jail. He did. But he wasn't the sole contributor on Floyd dying. Floyd contributed to that himself. Now, should he went to jail? Absolutely. He chose to put his knee in that man's neck and hold him down in a way that he should have never. There was more than enough people to restrain him, and they chose to do it in a way that would harm him. I truly believe he did deserve to go to jail, but did he deserve that sentence? No, he did not. Because if he deserved that sentence, the paramedics and everybody that stood around and watched it deserved jail time as well. That man had overdosed, and that is a fact. That is a fact, no matter how they want to spend it, and the situation. He had overdosed. He would not admit to them that he had took a handful of drugs, and he probably was going to die right there, regardless of what happened. But what happened did happen, and therefore people should be held responsible for it. I agree to that. I do agree to that. That he did deserve jail. I agree to that. And the other officers did as well. Because they should have been trained well enough to look at him and know he had overdosed. The paramedics that come and stuff, they should have been able to look at him and say, well, this fucker's overdosed. We need to get him some Narcan and get him out here because he's probably going to die where he's took too much fucking fentanyl. He should have said, hey, man, I've eat all these fucking pills or whatever he eats with all that fentanyl in it, and I think I'm going to die, bro. It would have been that simple. They could have been simply saying it could have all been, did not have to take place. And he was just as much as fault as everybody in that deal. There were too many people at fault in that to just shoving responsible for it. He came in like Billy Badass. He runs up, he puts his fucking knee into his damn neck and does him that way. He sits there knowing that he's cutting his fucking wind off. Knows this, dude, knows this. And then he thinks that he shouldn't go to jail. Yes, sir, he should go to jail. Yes, sir, absolutely the man deserved to go to jail. But no, not that long. Not that long. I mean, they could have punished him right, bro. Could have punished him right. He was not the sole contributor to him dying. Floyd had a hand in on his own death, as well as Chauvin and the police and the paramedics. Paramedics should have went to jail as well. Because they're not much of a paramedic if they can't look at somebody slobbering at the mouth OD'd. Man, since I seen the video of him, I said, well, fuck, he's OD'd, man. Why are they treating him that way? Get him a damn ambulance, take him out there, give him some Narcan, try to get... The man was going to die, bro. You could look at him and tell he was going to die, dude. But he, even at that point, with Floyd... And let's lay his criminal record to the side and all that bullshit and treat him as a human. At that point, he knowed what he had took. He knowed he had took too much. Why couldn't he said, hey man, I've took too much dope. I'm a dime, bro. Why couldn't the paramedics looked at him and said, oh shit, this guy's OD'd? Or the police? Why did they bail on him and treat him the way they did? It was uncalled for all the way around. All the way around. Everyone that stood there, even to the girl that recorded it, that got the Pulitzer, should have faced jail time for this, because I honestly, in my honest opinion, felt everybody that stood there and watched that shit go on should have been held culpable for what had happened. I mean, my God, man, it wasn't hard to see Floyd OD'd. That should have been fucking relevance from the start, that he had OD'd when he was sitting in the back of that cruiser saying, I can't breathe, He was basically telling him the dope had fucked him up so bad he had done started dying. But he couldn't tell him. Why couldn't he just tell him, hey man, I took too much dope? I mean, really, dude? So he's at fault as well. And that's the honest way of looking at it, dudes. You got 3 police officers bailed on him. I mean, goddamn, he was so fucked up he couldn't have been that big a threat. But they were going by his name and the charges and his actions before. They knowed who he was. They knowed he had kidnapped, raped, and he'd been in jail over it. They know that. They know that. So they was treating him like a criminal. More likely, I mean, I say they knowed that he'd OD'd and he was dying. Belt on his damn neck didn't help him. Not a bit. I mean, it didn't. It didn't help him whatsoever, dude. Did it help them to belt on his neck and treat him like trash? And that's what they were doing. And that's the truth. But these people standing around watching it all go on, man, they could have called people. They could have called 911 and said, hey, these 3 officers here's on top of this guy, and he's OD'd, bro. And they're on top of him, treating him like shit. Why couldn't they did that, man? I mean, really. Honestly. Well, wouldn't have got them in trouble by calling and saying, hey, these cops has got this guy holding him down here. He's telling him he can't breathe and he's OD'd, dude. So was it at fault? Hell yeah, there was at fault. Okay, you got the ambulance, the paramedics and the ambulance drivers and stuff that come there. They know he was. Should have. If they didn't, they don't need to be ambulance drivers. Don't need to work on a paramedic. Then you got people standing around filming it. Now, why would it hurt you to call people with more authority to come and help him? I blame I blame everyone there. Everyone. Not just one. Everyone. They were all involved in it. Him himself as well. He could open his mouth, told him, took too much dope. I just eat it when I seen yous coming. Man, I think I've OD'd. That's simple. Not that they would have treated him any better. I really doubt that they would have. But they would have knowed. I mean, goddamn, if I would have took too much dope and the cops throw me in the back of a car and I couldn't breathe where all that dope was in me. I tell them, dude, I've took too much dope, bro. You get me an ambulance, man. I think I'm dying, bro. I mean, simple as that. A simple thing that probably maybe would have saved his life. He chose not to do. And I'm not excluding the police, nor the paramedics, nor the crowd. I blame the crowd as well. Because I'm for sure there was someone in that crowd could look at that man and tell he is overdosed. And nobody did nothing but stand there going trying to get their 15 minutes of fame for recording what went on. That's what happened there. Paramedics come up, does not do anything. They can't look at a man that was overdosed and say they don't need to be fucking paramedics. If anybody, man, as soon as I seen the video, I said, well, fuck, man, he's OD'd, dude. You could look at him and tell he was. And I thought the whole time that I watched that, man, why don't he tell them he's overdosed, dude? I mean, he's gonna die. I knowed he was gonna die from the time I watched that video and had never seen it. But from the time I laid eyes on him, I knowed he was gonna die. Because he had done started looking that damn bad off all that dope. That's sad, dude. And you know who I blame her on that deal? I blame the way that they did about the border, that they cannot keep all these drugs from flowing in our country the way they are. So I blame them as well. And then you got to put the blame on the man that was sitting there freebasting and cooking the shit up, shooting it up, eating it. You can't. He is a junkie, man. And that's a fact. He took too much dope. Let's be honest about it. I mean, let's be honest. He was putting out fake 20s. He got caught. So it would have been a simple slap him on the wrist. We're talking about Minnesota, bros. I mean, goddamn, you know. They wasn't going to do nothing that big to him over it. He eats all his dope thinking he's going to jail, which he probably was, you know, in the case, because he wasn't willing to give the money back and you know, all that shit. You got these three fucking I'm the chief boss cops rolling in her that throw him in the squad car. He's sitting back there sweating like a fucking hog. The dope's taking effect. He knows he's OD'd by that point, bros. Why couldn't he tell him, I can't breathe? He was telling him he couldn't breathe. Why didn't he tell him why he couldn't breathe? Never in that video did you ever hear him say, man, I've eaten too much dope, I've OD'd. You never hear nobody say, man, I believe he's on too much dope, he's OD'd. It's, oh, watch how they treating this black man. Oh my God, look how he's on. And he was on his neck, bros. And that couldn't have been good for him. I mean, there should be a culpability and consequences for their actions, absolutely. But his actions involved him as well in it, man. Everybody that was at that scene, they were all at fault. And that's my honest opinion of it. The crowd, the police, the paramedics, and Floyd as well. Floyd for not admitting what he had done. I mean, at some point in your life, you have to admit what you've did. Because when you die, and if you're lucky enough, you go to heaven and meet the big man, he's going to account all your sins for you. And you're not going to sit and lie your way out of it with him, bro. It's a sad deal, man. It's a sad deal. At the end of the day, that was a sad deal that that man died on the street, and he had just as much to do with his death as the police, as the crowd, as everyone standing there recording that. They had phones, could have called 911 and said, hey man, these cops is on this guy's neck, holding him down, and he is OD'd, and they're so damn stupid they can't realize it. That's facts, man. That's how I see that. That the police, you know, they're trained in that, bros. You know, they're trained to know when somebody's fucked up on dope or alcohol. They're trained for this shit, dudes. And here this guy, and don't get me wrong, he wasn't a saint. Well, I've read his police record. He's far from a saint. Should they have exercised caution with him? Absolutely. Once he was in cuffs, they should never have been holding him down, bro. Never. Never. He was passing fake 20s, man. I don't think he was that big a threat at the moment. He was so scared about the shit he ate all his dope. You know. And I mean, he ate a lot of it, bro. He OD'd. There's no doubt of that. Coroner said he had. But coroner said that they come up with a bunch of bullshit in that deal and about like Shoving, holding him down by the neck. You know, bros, that had to affect him. It had to, dude. He was on his damn neck holding him down. So, did he deserve to go to jail? Hell yeah, he did. He did. In my honest opinion, the other two officers should have too. And the paramedics should have as well. And everybody standing around recording it, they should have too. Everybody that was on that scene when Floyd did that deserves some kind of punishment for what they sat and witnessed and would not open their mouth about. They were worried more about recording the death of a black man by police than they were really helping him. That's the truth. The man kept telling him he could not breathe. But I also blame him as well. So, should it be a rough prison sentence and stuff? No. But yeah, everybody should have been punished. Everybody. Especially the paramedics, in my opinion, because these people are supposed to train to recognize this stuff, that someone's OD'd, and know what to administer to them, Narcan, and that they should have said, hey, dude, this guy's OD'd, let's give him some Narcan, load him up, get him to the hospital, he's probably not going to make it. They shouldn't have took so much time holding him down by the damn throat, or neck. As soon as his throat got him mashed into the ground, this big-ass motherfucker sitting there on top of him. Do you honestly think that didn't hurt him? Because it did. And then all this shit, dude, for what, bros? For what? They ended up giving his family $8 million, and I do not agree with that whatsoever. Just the simple fact that he was as much to blame in his death as everybody else. And you can't take away what he was doing when it took place. He was passing fucking counterfeit money. So, everybody was at fault, him included. And you can't just wash that away about that. So should Chauvin got 20 years? No, that's too much for that. About 1 to 5 would have been right in the range of what he should have got. I felt that 2 to 5 would have been substantial for his role in it. Not no 20 fucking years and trying to make example, because he wasn't the only one involved in it. And I would have figured he could have got his sentence less in appellate court, and maybe end up at some point. And then you got to remember here, they put a police officer in a jail, and they've tried to kill him, they've stabbed him and every fucking thing else. And should he be there? Yes, he should. And I'll be honest of that, he should be there. But on the same hand, he should not be there for the sentence they give him. I thought that was way too harsh. Way too harsh. Too many factors to weigh into it that he didn't do what he did contribute it, and he should have got involuntary manslaughter and a sentence. Do I think he did it for meanness? Maybe. I mean, you can't tell what someone has on their mind. He had no. A police officer has no fucking reason to ever put their knee into your fucking neck and hold you down. Never. That should be considered police brutality right then there. Why the hell would you want to hold somebody down by the back of the fucking neck into the hard top or dirt or whatever, when all you and two other people are on top of him, holding him down from the start? Why do you want to lay and kneel down on his fucking throat? I don't believe in that shit, dudes. I don't. Represent yourself better. If you're a police officer, represent yourself better. Don't just take it upon yourself to beat someone because you think you have that kind of rights, because you don't. Now, I can understand a police officer wanting to feel safe in their environment, but I cannot understand sitting on somebody's fucking throat or beating them when you already have them in handcuffs. They're no longer a threat to you. I don't believe in that shit, dudes. I don't. Police officer should be held accountable as well as anyone else. They have conduct codes of conduct, and absolutely, if you cannot deal with the public, you should not have that job, because you know you're going to run up on assholes and assos. You know that. And if you're beating on them and shit, you don't need that job, bro. You don't. And to absolutely beating and knocking around on somebody does not make you look big. It makes you look like the asshole you really are. Now, you might be mad and frustrated because you had to chase them down or whatever, but that does not give you the damn rights to be a beating on them. I just don't go for that shit. We're all humans, and they're no better than us. They're a public servant, and if they cannot deal with the public, they do not need that job. And just to beat and thump and demean somebody just because you can, you don't need that job, dude. You do not need that job, and I think any officer that's ever been caught doing such a shit should never be an officer again. Period. Period, man. I don't believe in I do have faith in the police, but I do have a distrust to them when it comes to them just randomly beating the shit out of people, because they do it. And when you say they don't, you're a damn liar. I watched a video of this trooper walk right in this man's house, and him, no warrant, no nothing, walked in his house, slapped the damn phone out of his hand, and treated him like shit in his own home. And I would hope the motherfucker got fired for what he did, because you don't do people that way just because you think that you got a damn badge on and that you're above the law. And that's exactly where it goes, that mentality. I'm the law, I'll do as I please, I got the immunity. That needs stuck. That is the first thing needs stuck from a police officer, is immunity for what they do. They need to know that there are consequences if they pull that weapon and they shoot somebody, and it's not lawful and just that they're going to go to jail. I do believe in that, and I am for the police. I truly am. But when it comes to that kind of shit, that you got a psychopath, and that's what they are, acting in ways like that, that they would go that quick to end someone's life. Life should mean a hell of a lot more than, I thought he had a gun and killed him. Yeah. And you see that a lot. And if you say, like I said, if you say it's not happening and all this bullshit, you're full of shit. There's too many damn videos of showing that the cocksuckers do it. So, to ignore the problem and try to justify what they're doing, no sir. No sir. If someone comes up trying to wail on them and attacking them, absolutely they need to defend themselves. But if you're at a traffic stop and this cocksucker's mad because he's had to chase you down and decides to go beating the shit out of you, he has no rights. I know he's mad because he had to run you down because you run from him. You know he's mad, and 90% are going to try to beat your ass over it. Because at the point you run, you'll know you're going to get a beating, bro. Because you've just given them the right to give you a beating. So I blame you as well. And I blame people that sit and argue and escalate the situation. Because you know you shouldn't be arguing with them, damn it. Because they got a gun and the motherfucker will shoot you, you dumb ass. It's sad, dude. It's sad. You got people that will sit and provoke them, knowing damn good and well you're probably fucking with somebody that ain't mentally stable and going to shoot you. Dude, and there are a lot of police officers that's dealt and did so much it's not mentally stable. I think that they should have to go undergo mental evaluations more than they do. Because that is a high-pressure job. And they do deal with stuff that the general public does not realize they deal with. And I'm not talking bad about the police, honest, I'm not. But they should be a help for them there to help them mentally deal with all the shit they have to deal with. Because, I mean, they are points that good people snap. And I'm not saying all police officers are bad. I'm truly not, man. I'm saying that we all get to the point that we can't deal and we snap. And they do, bros. I mean, honestly, I'm going to take a break for a second here, dudes. I've not eaten. And I'm feeling a little funny, so I'll be right back.